So what's going on, everybody? JA News is back. Salute to you for tuning in. We're going to be jumping into all of this week's biggest sneaker releases, from a sleeper hit to what they're saying about a shock drop for one of this month's most hype releases. I got you covered. So I'm going to need everybody to smash the like button. YouTube, they also got this new hype feature, so show love to that. Plus, consider subscribing. That way you don't miss out on any sneaker news updates. Now, to kick things off, it's been a little minute. We got to go ahead and recap what happened last week, where we saw Nike drop the Victor DNA. Now, Steven Victor, he's a music executive with close ties to rappers like Pusha T. He was around during the early days of good music. He managed the late Pop Smoke and currently manages a roster including artists like Nigo. Now, with this NYC to Tokyo, or the Racer Pack, this is two new colors of the DNA. This is Nike's latest in the Air Max line, a legendary classic series which has been dropping throughout the years. Now, with these colors, basically you got the blue pair, which is inspired by the Ferrari. You have this white or silver pair inspired by the Nissan Skyline. So if you're one of them dudes that's into cars, these are going to contain some really cool details. Now, as far as these drops, they were very exclusive. While you had the Racer blue pair exclusive to NYC, and select sneakers app members were granted exclusive access. Now, to be granted access for this pair, one had to have either purchased or attempted to purchase the DNA or any of the Nico Nike products. And then, of course, for the white silver pair, these were exclusive to Japan. And speaking of exclusive releases, we got the New Balance 2000 Biblioteca in collaboration with Amine, who now joins the roster of rappers like Action Bronson over at New Balance with their own official collaboration. Now, this sneaker, extremely limited to just 100 pairs. They didn't even drop these online. Rather, to have a chance to be able to get these, you would have had to have attended the Best Day Ever Fest, which took place in Portland. I'm guessing that Amine, being a Portland native, he probably was the headliner of the festival. Now, at this same festival, you would have had to have pre-ordered his upcoming green New Balance sneakers, which, by the way, unfortunately, they're not as hot as these right here. So by pre-ordering that sneaker would put you into a raffle for a chance to win one of 100 pairs of this sneaker, which is absolutely crazy. I'm not even gonna lie, kind of disappointing, just due to the fact that I feel like these are nice. The colors go crazy, and my favorite New Balance Amine collaboration that we've seen drop so far. But I guess with them making these limited to just 100 pairs for the actual lucky people that actually have a chance to win these, I guess it makes this release that much more special. Now, as far as my sleeper pick of last week, that would go to Adidas, who hit us with the Bruce Lee Jabbar Low Game of Death. Now, when you talk about storytelling elements, is all the way present right here, all the way down to the shade of yellow featured on this sneaker, which represents the same tracksuit Bruce Lee wore during this flick as he ascended through the towers to defeat the final boss, who happened to be NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which, by the way, those two shared a very special friendship. So this is a really cool collaboration. Storytelling elements are all the way present, and it's just a reminder that I gotta watch this movie. It's definitely been a minute. Now, also from Adidas, we saw them release the Pharrell Williams Human Race Addy Zero Evo SL, which, when you talk about this new running lifestyle silhouette, which we saw debut last year, I kind of feel like this model has almost kind of replaced the Ultra Boost for Adidas, featuring the latest tech. I'm a fan of the shape. The design right here is really cool. And when you talk about this sneaker, it's been a big hit over in Europe. So my guess is that with this Pharrell Human Race collaboration, they're trying to bring a little more hype over here to the US audience, which, by the way, both of these colors did actually sell out. And of course, Nike Jordan Brand, they had a busy weekend with the release of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Air Max 95, which is inspired by the Japanese trading card game, which, if you were around in, say, like the late 90s, early 2000s, you probably have a lot of nostalgia for this game, which, for the record, JA, he was more of like a Pokemon kid growing up, so I really can't tell you guys too much about Yu-Gi-Oh! But apparently this sneaker is supposed to be inspired by Joey Wheeler, who I'm guessing is like the main character or something like that, which this sneaker also came included with some little trading cards and everything, which this was an instant sellout, of course, for Nike, which, if you haven't noticed by now, the premier retro silhouette from Nike has kind of been like the Air Max 95, so this is just another addition to some premier Air Max releases which we've seen drop here in 2025. And if you call the Air Max 95 Nike's premier retro model of the year, you might have to say that for Jordan Brand, it would be the Jordan Retro 5, which this year they're celebrating the 35th anniversary from when this sneaker originally dropped. This Saturday, we saw the return of a classic, a beloved Jordan Brand OG with the Fire Red 5s. Now, when you talk about this sneaker, they made a whole lot of pairs of these, so much that they weren't actually an instant sellout. But my guess is that with this being the third official OG Jordan 5 release that we saw drop this year, it's gonna be kind of a sleeper hit. I feel like this is one which is gonna sell out towards the end of the year, and a lot of people may regret actually passing up on these. So as far as last week's releases, comment down below. Let me know if you guys picked up anything, or was there any releases which I actually missed out on. Now, as far as what we can look forward to dropping this week, I'm gonna start things off with today's drop, a sneaker which I'm calling the sleeper hit of the week. We got the P-Rod Nike SB1 in the bread colorway. Now, when you talk about Paul Rodriguez, somebody who's known to be Nike SB's very first signature athlete, he's had a long line of sneakers with them, actually 10 signature releases. So it was only right for Nike SB to bring back the one which started it all, the P-Rod 1, which a lot of people would actually say is like Nike SB's Jordan 1, which when you talk about this bread colorway, I mean, can you get any of a closer connection than a bread colorway? So with this one, you got some real nice details featuring the perforated red Nike swoosh. You also got this little R monogram representing Rodriguez. So this definitely sleeper hit, which according to Eldon Monitors, as far as today's SNKRS app release, which they keep track of the amount of stock which drops throughout the back end of Nike servers, Nike actually only dropped around 3,000 pairs of these right here, which retailed for $125. Now, also coming up tomorrow, we do have the raffle opening up for the CPFM Nike Dunks, which you got 3 different colorway options to choose from, which feature this interesting sponge-like material on the upper, which kind of gives the Nike Dunk a more of like a chunkier aesthetic. So these are cool, whatever. When you talk about CPFM collaborations, they're usually known for like their outlandish, wild, crazy sneakers, which this one, I guess you could say, is a little more toned down, not too crazy and out there, but as far as the colors, you could definitely say, you know, they scream, look at me. So as far as the raffle, it will be going live tomorrow via CPFM, actually live at 3 p.m. Eastern. And as far as the SNKRS app release, we have no word of that. So if you're looking to get your hands on these, it's probably in your best interest to go ahead and scoop these up via the raffle. Now, we also have the latest Action Bronson New Balance 992 collaboration, which they're calling Tiger Eye. So we have the raffle, which will be coming up on Thursday via Action Bronson's website, specializinginlife.com. Now, when you talk about Action Bronson collabs, he's been kind of one of New Balance's premier collaborators, but this is one of the first pairs which I'm seeing kind of a mixed reaction. Not everybody's completely sold on these, but my guess is by the time the raffle goes live, everybody's going to be looking to get their hands on these, which if you haven't noticed by now, the 992 has kind of been one of New Balance's like go-to models, which we've seen Salehi collab on these. We also saw Joe Freshgoods kick off the year. So this is another interesting one in the line of New Balance 992 models, which we've seen drop this year. Now, on top of that pair, coming up this weekend, we got Jordan Brand hitting us with the Jordan 3 El Vuelo, which this one pays homage to the Lucha Libre Mexican wrestling heritage. This is a cool one right here, which when you talk about Mexican mics, bro, it doesn't get no realer than this one right here. I feel like these ones may go a little bit under the radar, but still, you know, a cool addition to the Jordan 3 line. Now, on top of them dropping these, we also have the Jordan 40 Dusty Rose, which will be the latest colorway of the newest mainline Jordan release, which we've seen them drop these 40s in very limited quantities. So as far as the Dusty Rose color, I'm guessing this will be another limited release, which we'll see retailing for $205. And then to finish things off, the big, most hype release, which everybody's waiting on, the Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1 Low. Now, for years now, Nike, Jordan Brand, Travis Scott, they've been releasing these Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows, which have always been some of the most hype releases, you know, to drop via the SNKRS app. So when you talk about this drop, which all of the major sneaker outlets are reporting a release of Saturday the 20th, you could probably expect these to maybe even drop on a Friday. No word, no activity. These haven't loaded up via the SNKRS app yet. No activity via Travis Scott's website. So it's absolutely crickets when you talk about this release, but that would be kind of normal when you talk about Travis Scott releases, which they always like to keep everybody on their toes, keep that element of surprise present, as more so than likely we'll probably see some release details like pop up at the very last minute for this drop right here. But in my opinion, this sneaker is like overhyped. You're gonna have everybody trying to get their hands on these due to the high resale value. But all across the board, the Travis Scott Jordan 1 has kind of been a hit for Jordan Brand. So they're going to continue to pump out more colorways of these. Recently, we've seen Travis Scott spotted in this shy pink pair, which was rumored to be canceled. But due to the fact that he's been rocking these all over the place, my guess is more so than likely we'll probably see them joints drop sometime in 2026. So as far as this sneaker, the most hype drop of the week, I would say overhyped, but then again, you know, everybody's gonna be trying to get their hands on these right here. So as far as this week's releases, for me, there's nothing that like I would say is like a must cop. So comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the sneakers that we could look forward to dropping this week. Did you pick up any pairs, or are you just a fan of the game and just love to see what's happening? Like the old East Bay catalogs, which you used to flip through back in the day to see all the latest releases. Drop your feedback down below. JA News, I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna need everybody's support on this one. So make sure you guys smash the like button down below. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'm out, y'all. Love.